welcome.
Welcome, everyone. We're going to give a minute, let everybody get filtered in here, and then we'll get going. Lots of fun ahead of us, lots of questions to be answered. All right, great. I think we can go ahead and get started here. So welcome everybody to our AMA. Today we have an AMA with RECUR Product Leadership, which is pretty fantastic. This is part of our ongoing AMA series that we have going here. Last week we had Zach, and now we're kicking it right into some of our incredible product team. So I'm going to go ahead and mute up and leave it off to these guys to introduce themselves. And if we could, let's kick it off with JP. A lot of people know JP. Let's kick it off with you and let everybody know who you are.
Sure. Thank you, Dad Bod, for passing it off. Hey, RECUR fam. My name is Justin, known around here as JP. So yeah, as my intro says, I'm a former AI researcher turned product manager turned Web3 degen. My background is in computer science, so I'm actually an alum from the University of Michigan Engineering School, where I majored in computer science. And at night, between work and trading NFTs, I'm getting my master's in computer science at NYU. So I try to stay very technical here. Previously, before RECUR, I have patented and published several machine learning algorithms with IBM Research. More recently, I was leading a team at eBay working on ML recommender systems, personalization, page optimization. We were published at RecSys and did some awesome work there. And then my life changed when I minted my first NFT, which was actually a Meebit. If anyone knows what that is, it's a kind of lame project from Larva Labs. And after my first NFT, I fell into the Web3 rabbit hole. I started following everyone I could on Twitter who's in the space. Next, I decided to ape into a Bored Ape, and the rest was history. After that, decided to leave big tech in order to work at a fast-moving startup called RECUR. And here at RECUR, I'm focused on product management, which means helping to shape the strategy and prioritization of RECUR products and our roadmap. I work cross domains, trying to bring my experience in data science, machine learning, computer science, Web3 to every project I work with. And yeah, I'm excited to chat with all of you. Recently, my favorite NFT projects are, of course, RECUR, anything Yuga Labs, Artifact, Aku, Chain Runners. Yeah, ask me anything. And with that, I'll pass it to who wants to go? Moxla?
Yeah, I'll go next. So what's up, everybody? Moxla here. My name's Edix behind the scenes, or Erix, depending on the pronunciation. Let's see. I started my career at HubSpot, which is, I guess now one of the premier marketing technology companies out there. So I saw a really great group sort of build that company, which was pretty cool. I started in customer service, so shout out CX. Near and dear to my heart. When I left HubSpot, I actually started the CX team at Circle. This was back in 2014. We were selling Bitcoin at the time, for those of you who may remember. So I got to see Circle through a number of really interesting stages in its development to what it's become. So a number of us on the RECUR team are actually from the Circle group. And it's been really awesome just kind of seeing all the talent and all the impact that we've made on crypto. So while I was at Circle, I was in CX for a bit and then moved over into engineering. I don't really have a traditional engineering background. I didn't study computer science. I studied English and religion, funny enough, at Duke. So that was kind of an interesting transition coming out of school and figuring out what I wanted to do. I really kind of got sucked into I lived in California for a bit and got in touch with a number of folks in Silicon Valley and just caught the bug back in, I guess, 2011. So I saw Circle. We had the Poloniex acquisition. Max and I have worked very closely together in a number of different projects. We launched USDC and got to see some of the early adoption of that project. And then I just really had a budding interest for solar and EVs and energy and sort of what was happening at the macro level. And I made somewhat of a interesting career pivot before the pandemic to work for an electric utility. But it was really fascinating. I worked at a little lab called Keystring Labs, which is their innovation group, on a number of interesting data problems. I mean, you can only imagine how much data a utility company that serves, several million customers sort of produces from usage or from distribution or from production. It's really kind of a fascinating business. And then the pandemic hit, and I went out on my own for a little bit in Web3 and started working for some startups and just helping out where I could with some engineering or a little bit of design or a little bit of project management. And then I started at RECUR last summer and was brought in by Max. And yeah, I've just had a great time building what this community is looking like. And my main areas of focus have been, I've gone everything from internal tooling to data analytics to some of our new projects that we're starting to kick around, payments, risk and compliance. So there's a wide range of things that I touch, but really focused in on, like I said in the little share out of the announcement, giving users and customers superpowers is really what I'm all about. So that's how I'll end it. I'll pass it over to Max. We're looking forward to being here.
Cool. Thanks, Edix. Hey, everyone. Really great to meet you. My name's Max, and I am also a director of product management here at RECUR. I'm a self-professed lurker in chat, but it's really cool to finally be out here and have the opportunity to chat with all of you over the next hour. So yeah, a bit about my background. As Edix mentioned, we worked together for many years. I guess my story is a bit of the reverse. So I was finishing up a degree in physics and was looking at the prospect of a future in energy. This is back in 2012, 2013, and the conversation on the energy side is about distributed generation, and brought me back to some stuff I'd read about crypto and this idea of distributed money, and caught that crypto bug that Edix was talking about. There was a really cool scene of builders in San Francisco at the time, and it was just too wacky of a space to resist, and I just kind of fell headfirst in. Of course, at the time, all of the conversation was about Bitcoin. I think the Ethereum Foundation was starting to pop up and circulate materials there, but I kicked off the blockchain group at UC Berkeley. It was just sort of one of the first university research groups that was starting to jump into the space. And then from there, moved over to Circle in 2015. And again, Bitcoin was still the topic of conversation at the time. And what we were primarily focused on was creating delightful and incredibly easy on-ramps from US dollars into Bitcoin, which was still really a problem that hadn't been solved in the space at the time. And over time, Circle's focus shifted, and by 2018, the multi-chain USDC stablecoin was the hot topic. And from there, jumped over to Poloniex, where I was working alongside James, our CTO, on everything related to blockchain development and wallet infrastructure. So this was things like integrating new blockchains for trading and deposit and withdrawal. It was implementing features such as staking and other ways to use your assets inside of a centralized exchange experience. And then last March 2021, got in contact with some old acquaintances and got looped in with the team here at RECUR, such as Zach and Max, and James and I made the jump over into the NFT space. So yeah, it's been a ton of fun. That sort of wackiness that we saw in the early days is back in full force with NFTs, and I think that's what makes this so exciting. And what really brought me to the opportunity was this chance to, finally build something that has true mass appeal. This blend of crypto technology and culture coming together in the nascent NFT space. And I think the chance to work with the team of technologists we have here, in addition to the folks on the licensing side, from Hollywood and movie studios, and blending that together in a way that hasn't been done before was just too much to pass up. So we've been doing that for the last year, and generally focused on our user consumer facing experiences. So looking forward to chatting to all of you about anything ranging from the sort of the crypto and transactional flows that you see across each of our branded experiences, through to the brands themselves. And looking forward to hearing, any and all of your ideas for what you'd like to see in the product as well as we work through the conversation. Cool. So Lima, Dadbod, thanks for having us today. Should I pass back to you, or should we keep going?
No, I think we just all learned that you guys are incredibly smart, and I have never felt more inferior in my life, and also
Wonderful.
never
You
more
managed to trick me.
lucky. Yeah, never more lucky to be working with all of you. But Max, I'd love to throw it back to you. I know we were talking before this, and you wanted to give the community some updates on some recent innovation and product. So if you want to jump right into that, I know everybody's ready and waiting.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's been another busy week. Yesterday was the launch of sealed pack trading and the addition of a new chain to our NFT deposit withdrawal arsenal. And right around the corner, we have another brand experience coming. So, JP, you want to kick us off with sealed pack updates?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, as you know, yesterday we went live with sealed pack trading. So this was a feature I think myself and many others kind of always knew we wanted from the start. Basic idea is we're selling the equivalents of like packs of cards in NFTU. We're selling these cases, and there's a probability of what players you're going to get within a given case. It's a lot like buying a pack of sport cards like Tops or something like that. And in Star Trek, we're selling these packs where there's probabilities of what traits you're going to get out of it. And not to mention, we have this really awesome pack open experience that the art teams and the front end teams have worked so hard on. So we always wanted to be able to keep these packs sealed and let the fans decide how they want to use them in the future, whether they want to open them right away or kind of hold them and speculate on, where the market's going to go. And I think it creates a really interesting game dynamic where fans can actually like speculate on, do I want to buy packs for myself and rip them open, or do I want to keep them sealed and kind of defer the decision to open them or resell them in the future? And I want to hear all of your guys' feedback on this feature. But so far, the stats that I've been looking at related to this project are looking pretty good. Like here, I'll post in general here, like some of the stats I'm following. Generally, I think for NFTU, the stats are really interesting. Packs are selling above the mint price, meaning that if you did decide to hold, you're seeing a nice return on the investment, which is always kind of cool to see. And I think it'll be interesting over time to see how these prices move. I mean, as challenges continue to burn down the supply, as we continue to register more users, as we add more seasons later on, I think all of that's going to make it very, very interesting to like hold on to sealed product in the future. But like, what I think is worth noting is that this is a feature of what we call like the RECUR platform. So going forward, Star Trek packs are going to be resellable very soon. And going forward, all packs and all of our projects going forward can be resellable. So that means if we're thinking about something down the road like a Nickelodeon or Hello Kitty, you'll have that opportunity to say, when I buy it, am I going to open this pack for myself, or am I going to maybe hold it forever, keep it sealed, resell it. I think it's just a really awesome game dynamic, and I'm happy that we got this live. So yeah, that's.
And one thing I'll just add on it is we're going to also allow for the withdrawal of unopened packs in the future. It's just some reporting stuff that we need to take care of before we enable that. But to really call this feature complete, that's something that we're also eyeing, so that if you wanted to bring that unopened pack onto your own wallet, you could do that.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really exciting. And I mean, personally, I always, like, if you look at my account, I have all unopened packs. I'm just going to hold them forever, see where it goes. That's the fun for me. And to each their own. I just love that now our fans have that option. Just like you would if you bought some physical cards. Yeah, I think that's the coolest part.
Yeah, just like the individual NFTs that come out of a pack, the pack itself is an NFT. It's simply an NFT that internally references the NFTs that are contained inside of it. So with the launch of pack reselling, have the ability to trade within our own platform. But as Edix alluded to, there's really no reason that this container, this NFT, itself can't be withdrawn, on chain to any of the blockchains that we currently support.
Just a little bit of complexity maybe into the reasons why the on-chain withdrawing of unopened packs is difficult. Mostly has to do with the royalties, and EIP 2981. All of our assets, if the marketplace supports that implementation, then it will work. On the reporting side, though, we are receiving, say, 10% from the sale. We then need to divvy it up, and as you can probably imagine, NFT is a rather sort of complicated, royalty setup, given that there's players and licensing for trademarks and all that stuff. So just a little bit insight into the complexity that happens behind the scenes. And we've got an amazing engineering team that's looking into, we're basically the first ones to ever do this. And so we've got an entire suite of tools to enable finance and all of our teams who are looking at these reports to send back to the payees, right? Because the creator is still getting paid in a lot of these trades. It's same as on our marketplace, which is off chain. So we're really trying to create this global royalty, engine, so to speak, so that we can prove the value of how royalties enable creators to have a new, revenue line or whatever it may be. So I think it's just interesting to kind of drill into that, because the royalties piece is such a big part of this industry.
Absolutely. Yeah, lots of interesting challenges here. But this has been one more milestone for us this week. Edix, do you want to jump into some AVAX stuff?
Sure. So yeah, I mean, we've got an announcement that we just shared. Was it yesterday that we're rolling out AVAX next week? So the team is diligently working on that. Do I have a cool screenshot like JP? Not really. I was thinking.
Should have asked for one.
I would have made one. Yeah, well, I didn't know if I wanted stats or did I want I don't know if I can actually look at it in my wallet, but we're working on that. And there's some cool things that I think a new chain unlocks, right? There's all these new games available. There's some DeFi that's maybe got some regulatory uncertainty, but we're still looking into it. We're very interested in pushing the boundaries of what these new chains can provide. And so, yeah, we're researching and we're trying to figure out how do we use the interoperability to really promote the brands. Maybe a brand is just, AVAX is like, I love that brand so much, I want to, promote it, or I want to figure out how to do something cool with it. We're really interested in seeing sort of how that plays out with the fans that come along with some of the brands that are on our roadmap. So stay tuned for that next week. I believe it's it's so cheap to withdraw on AVAX that it will be nearly identical to Polygon, and which means it'll be free of charge to withdraw out. And we're really excited to see what gets withdrawn, sort of in alignment with our next brand release. So yeah, more to come there. I think it's just going to be an evolving conversation as to what cool things can we do on these new chains, and would really love to hear in some of these questions, like what projects do you like on some of the networks that we're tapping into, and just kind of what are you guys thinking of, is something that I'm really keen on understanding. So yeah, Max, is there anything else that I should have said about AVAX?
No, we're just, we're kind of excited to just keep expanding the ensemble of chains that we support. It's sort of been foundational since day one. The licensors that we work with don't want to be chained down to any one particular solution. They want to be future proof. We also, believe that, for RECUR to really act as that, central portal to all these developing metaverses and on-chain experiences that are evolving over the coming years, we also need to remain chain agnostic. So the addition of Avalanche is just, one more step in that direction. As Eddick said, more to come.
Yeah, I think your NFT is not truly interoperable if it's not omni-chain. I mean, if you can't bring it to any chain and work with any ecosystem that you want, it's not really very interoperable. We can say that we have that immediately. So it's going to be really awesome to see kind of where that takes us in the future.
Awesome. And, I want to be sure we get to questions, so I'll be pretty quick about this one, but also just wanted to provide an update on Top Gun in case you missed the announcements in Discord. So next Tuesday, May 24th, we'll be going live with the Top Gun experience. This is going to be our first foray into connecting, the experience of attending a live event in person to receiving a digital collectible. And we're really excited to see how this goes and kind of build out a model, moving into the future where we can kind of repeat this. It also helps that the Top Gun Maverick film is apparently really good, so be sure to go check it out. And if you attend one of the eligible showings at 7 o'clock in your local time on May 24th at a participating theater, you'll also be able to collect an NFT inside of the Top Gun experience. And I believe this has already been spoken about, but pass holders that purchased a starship in the Star Trek experience will also be eligible for a unique collectible inside of Top Gun, which I think is really neat. It's sort of branching out the cross compatibility of different experiences under the Paramount XYZ family, and we're going to continue to grow out the portfolio of Paramount products over the coming months. So,
really curious how many Mavericks are in the audience and how many Icemen are in the audience. That's a question of the day for me.
Yeah. Cool. So that's sealed pack trading. That's Avalanche, and that's Top Gun. Yeah, I'd love to open the floor for questions.
Yeah, let's get some questions going.
Yeah, guys, I just opened up the ability for you to request to speak. So if anyone has a question, go ahead and request, and we'll start pulling you up. Things to remember is the team here, the product team, will answer anything that falls in their scope. And we told you in announcements, recent releases, tech around recent releases, payments, the collecting experience, our marketplace, on-chain tech and functionality, NFT collecting as a whole, or Web3 outside of RECUR, things you can ask. So keep those in mind, and we'll go ahead and pull up our first person, an OG, as always, Lamana.
Hello.
Hello,
What's going on?
Lamana. What's up? Is that Knuckles?
Adjust my speaker.
that Knuckles with sunglasses? Are you a Sonic fan?
All right, wait, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
I'm clear.
All right, so my question is about the fees on like the current experiences and like on future experiences. Like I was wondering about, like, for example, like the premium tickets, they have like a 10% fee, and I was under the impression that 5% was going to the players. So I was wondering where that other five, like if all those 10% is going to recur, and where that money is going exactly, and what is going to be happening with the fees and like Nickelodeon and other experiences.
So you're asking about the creator royalty?
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex,
Gotcha.
do you want to get a little bit into sort of
Yeah.
how the royalty split works there?
Yeah, so with each brand, there's a deal behind the scenes with different licensing agreements and use of brands and all that stuff. So you can think that there's a number of parties behind the scenes that the 10% that's taken from secondary market sales will go to, and depending on the brand, it's divvied up based on the sort of distribution. For a given SKU or a given NFT. And so, you can look at the marketplace right now if you wanted, and you can basically, each of these NFTs has a separate SKU with a particular royalty scenario. And we calculate that when the sale happens, and we report on it and pay out. I think are they're not they're just a little irregular in that there's some parties who want every 2 weeks, some parties that want end of the month, some I think might even be like 60-90 days. So that just kind of is a little bit insight into NFTU. It's the distribution is much more complex, whereas with an IP like Nick, it's basically just Paramount. There might be some other parties in there, but to my knowledge, it's much simpler for most Paramount brands. Does that help, Lumana?
Yeah, and so with the premium tickets, since that's not a player, does that just all go to the community fund?
So no, so the community fund is being filled up by sales from the RECUR Pass. For tickets that aren't associated with players, there is a school, or there's another counterparty who is helping. I think is a part of this scenario. I can double check on that. But I think those are, if you look at it from a business standpoint, those are our highest margin NFTs.
I think in general for each NFT, there's like some part that goes directly to the player, some part that goes to the school, some part that goes to like the company that created the photo or the video. It's not the most exciting stuff, but it is really interesting how royalties get split up. And I think college sports has always struggled with making NIL work well for that reason. And we have done an amazing job, I think, getting that kind of immediately working well.
Mm-hmm. And for folks on in the audience, we do have a product manager who is dedicated fully to royalties because of the complexity, because of the timing, and because of how important it is to these relationships that we have with brands and counterparties. So it is something we focus in on. Again, like JP said, it's not the sexiest stuff, but keeps the lights on, and it's really such a promising piece to this industry. That's why we focus on it so much.
All right, thank you. I think that answers my question.
Awesome. Thanks for the question. Great one.
Before I bring up the next person, just a shout out, Lamana has a DJ set tonight at 8 p.m. for those who want to show up, hitting the ones and twos. It looks like next we have King Trike.
Hi there.
What's up, King?
Hey,
Excellent.
how you doing?
Hey, just good. I just had a question. When you did the drop for NFTU, It was like a first come, first serve, and you've got one card, maybe it doesn't matter. If you have 10, that kind of sucks. If you have 100, kind of crappy. Your cards have numbers on them. Why aren't all the cards put in a number generator and then just generated accordingly, so that if you've got one card or if you've got 500, you've got a prorated chance to hit whatever you hit, other than first come, first serve, which seems like old technology, and I don't know, it seems kind of backwards.
Wait, how do you mean for the serial numbers that you get for the players?
Let's say you're doing a drop of, say, 10,000 cases of whatever. And what you did in NFTU is you did a first come, first serve, click buy, basically. But what if you did sort of like some of the other companies do? They do a waiting list. You've got 30 minutes before, actually, I think Smarter's 6 to 12 hours before, because of different time zones and people are at weddings or they're working or whatever. You give them a 24 to 12 hour time zone to, or window to click, I want to participate. And then the number of your card goes into the random generator. And at the end of 6 hours or 1 hour or 24, you do your draw, and then the people get selected accordingly. So it's a fair way for someone who's got 10 tickets or 100 or 1. And it gives a chance that way for someone in a different time zone, someone at a wedding, someone working, someone sleeping, to get his participation in and not be cut by, especially if there's an internet disconnection. You're out of luck in a certain area if a drop happens. So I'm just curious why a random generator isn't set up and there's a queuing of, say, 6 to 12 hours at least ahead of time. Make it smooth, fair. There's no arguments there as to people botting or
I think you're touching on like a really great point, which is like first come, first serve is one way to do a drop, and there's a lot of ways to do a drop. And I can say that we have been exploring, like what are the options here? Like you suggested, like a queue with like a lottery system. Like, yeah, that's one way to do it. I've seen like across in the Web3 space, like lots of very interesting and novel ways that drops can be done. Just to like rattle off a couple, there's like blind auctions, second bid auctions, Dutch auctions. There's like all these different requirements to mint on certain whitelists. There's queues, there's queue raffles, so I think there's like a lot of really interesting ways to do drop mechanics. And I mean, all I'll say, and Max and Eric, you guys could speak to this too, is like we're not married to first come, first serve in the long term. And we are certainly going to look at drop mechanics that like meet the needs of our specific products.
Okay. No, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no,
I always, I'll let you go.
Sorry, I was just gonna to add on to what Justin was talking about. We definitely hear the community, loud and clear, and acknowledge that the first come first serve drop mechanic isn't like addressing all of our customers' needs. So exactly as Justin mentioned, this is something we're looking into. It's over time we're going to be experimenting with the drop mechanic itself, and we're also evaluating things like quantity and pricing to ensure that the supply and demand makes sense for each of these drops. So there's sort of a few dimensions to this, but I think you're making a wonderful suggestion. Needless to say, this isn't going unnoticed by the team, and we are looking into it.
Yeah, I think I'll tell you one drop mechanic that I don't love, which is, I used to buy a lot on NBA Top Shot, and like in the beginning, you would get in the queue, and like if you got in the queue early enough, you had a pretty good shot. And then after a while, the queue got so long, it was just filled with bots, and you would wind up like sitting in the queue for hours and maybe not even getting anything. So I think queuing is something that I'll probably say is not the best. But I've seen some really awesome drop mechanics from other projects, and I think there's a lot of inspiration out there of how we could do better. Another one not to do, huge, massive gas wars and wasting like $100 million in gas. Probably not a good way to do a drop either. So yeah, I think we can learn from what's worked in other places. And I appreciate you coming up here and saying like, hey, first come, first serve doesn't work for everyone. You're right.
Oh, I appreciate that. I think the cool thing is with the cards being numbered and all the crazy things with rarity, which is fascinating. The nice thing about the numbered thing is that also can be used in a queuing system where people aren't botting or putting duplicate cards in or whatever. So it's great in that sense, in that that's your serial number, that's your card, and if you enter it, you enter it, and if you don't, you don't. And nobody can play games with as a member in the system if their entries with a numbered card and there's only one of that card in existence.
I mean, I feel like we'll never get rid of bots forever, but if you can create drop mechanics where you have less incentive to use a bot, or no incentive to use a bot, so maybe there's some interesting things there.
Cool. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Awesome. Those are great questions. Guys, look, now we've got somebody up, and JP, this is one of your old friends. We've got H-Man.
H-Man.
The one, the only.
H-Man, what's up, man?
H-Man. It's becoming a legend at RECUR. Great to meet you.
Wait, H-Man, can I say something funny, actually? So I was at this artifact event, the CloneX event, and I told someone, oh, I work at RECUR, and they go, wait, are you H-Man? and I just thought that was really funny. I had to tell you that.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, I'm always trying to spread the word to everybody. And I just want to say you guys are doing a great job with this. I'm happy to hear that serve idea because I did have similar feelings as the last person that went up, for sure. There are a lot of mechanics, and I think especially with the different attributes and rarity of the RECUR pass, that could also definitely play a role, which is pretty neat. I wanted to say that I think that it's pretty cool that you guys got these closed packs being able to sell, and I like the idea of using them for the IP going forwards because it's almost like having an unrevealed mint vial, as you could say, for like the Artifact CloneX or like a mutant serum almost for the Bored Ape. It kind of leaves the opportunity where obviously these unopened cases and packs will sell somewhere between the floor and the highest ranked in the collection. So I think that's a really cool added raffle almost benefit towards it. But I kind of wanted to ask you guys about with the upcoming drops. Obviously, the gamification with NFTU has been awesome with challenges like the burn mechanism. Is there a plan for obviously gaming outside of that going forwards with all the IP? Is there any IP that you plan more specifically to be more on the gaming side versus other stuff to be more on the just more of a collectible side, less gamification? Or is it going to be all kind of working together? I don't know if that's something you can answer, but I'm kind of curious about that.
Yeah, sure. I think I can kick this one off. So yeah, what you've seen today with NFTU and its trade-in or burn challenges is one expression of what's possible with the underlying rule system that we've built for gameplay within RECUR experiences. So one of the nice things about this is we now have NFTU challenges live for 3 weeks, up and running. And with that, because this is built on the platform level, it's something that we can continue to deploy and experiment on and modify in different ways and unique ways for experiences going forward. So to answer your question in short, yes, you're going to see unique gameplay, depending on the branded experience and what's best suited for that particular collection and fandom. And I think it's also okay to say that some experiences are going to be more collectible based, like as you asked about, and will have utility in different ways that isn't strictly related to a challenge system. So yeah, I hope that answers that. I don't know, Edix, Justin, anything else you'd add there?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say there's so many gaming ideas that it would make this audience, every head in this audience is just spin. There's just so many possibilities, and I think, if anybody who's worked at a startup before, especially in a space like this, knows what kind of prioritization and sort of ruthless chopping down of the best idea is going to win, and we're really sort of aiming at that target, and it's tough because there's a variety of different options. There's brand schedules that we're trying to keep to, and it's a part of the job. So we're trying to figure out which of these gaming experiences or mechanics are most interesting to the community, and then we have to go back to the brands and sort of see what's possible. So there's tons of ideas. I think you'll definitely see more to come in upcoming months.
Yeah, I want to add, like, there is some really awesome mechanics that are being worked on that I can't say more about, and probably intentionally was not mentioned. But the really awesome thing about what we build is that once we kind of build it once for one experience, it's pretty trivial to bring it to all the other experiences. So if we build something really awesome for, like, Hello Kitty, for example, and like we do something that's crazy and you guys are going to think, wow, that's so cool. Well, then it's actually going to be relatively simple to bring that to the other brands soon after. So yeah, just something to keep in mind is that, like, when we build out these features, we're going to raise the tides on all projects. Yeah, I think when you look at it from that point of view, it's pretty exciting.
Cool. Thank you, guys. Keep your heads up. You guys are crushing it, man. It's a long game out here. I know some people's patience aren't as long as others, but fully believe what you guys are doing is going to be game changing. So thanks, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
As we wait for the next person to come up, I think something that's popped up a couple of times, and maybe we can speak a little bit about. JP just kind of alluded to the fact that this tech that we're building is really platform level tech. As we build out gamification and other things, that is added to our tech stack to where it could work on other experiences. And there was as we mentioned AVAX, there was a little bit of alluding to the possibility of other Web3 projects benefiting from RECUR. And I know Zach alluded to that a little bit as well. Guys, is there anything that we can speak about that may talk about the functionality of RECUR as a platform above and beyond maybe just the IP that we have?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, every time we launch a new brand, we get better at launching brands, and we get faster, and everything that comes along with previous experiences also gets better. So you can just think, if we're on some cadence of getting a brand out each whatever period, the platform is just getting stronger and more robust. And also the team is operationalizing these things. It's not just when we release sealed pack trading on a Wednesday, like, we don't just wash our hands from that feature. We have to maintain it and operate on it and do all of these things behind the scenes. I mean, the team is furiously working to support all of these different things. So as we become a platform, a lot of emphasis is on building more tooling for the creation of these communities or these experiences, so that it can be in the hands of those who are subject matter experts, or who know the vision and they want to execute on the vision, and they don't necessarily want to go through us. And so we're really aiming at a future world where there's tools available to develop on top of RECUR in more ways than just a simple public API, which is what we have. And so we're getting close to more of those tools, more powerful tools. And as we release Top Gun next week, we've got a slew of new options in our arsenal in order to deploy for a project that's interested in working with us. So yeah, that's sort of how I'll just answer to that, Dadbot. If any Max or JP, you guys want to chime in on that?
I mean, what are some things that we've seen so far from the platform? We just mentioned sealed pack trading. We spoke about omni-chain capabilities. We spoke about challenges. We've shown that we do reward drops. I think that there's probably like 10 other things that I'm missing. I think when you look at all of those as like Legos in a toolbox for, a new IP to say, well, what's possible for me to build with? Like use your imagination on like what could be done, and then factor in the fact that we're also building more and more features as we go. Yeah, it's exciting.
That's awesome. I know I skipped the cue, but every time I talk about Recur, I get excited about, thinking of, your favorite project that minted, and gas was huge and demand was massive. What if they had minted on Recur and then allowed you to transfer your NFT to Ethereum or AVAX later and avoid all those gas fees, and add all the benefits of our ecosystem? It's just incredible to think about. I know
not a week goes by that I don't look at a project that gets launched and there's some issue, and I'm like, if only they, launched on Recur. But we're gonna get there. I think it's very close.
we got Ange coming up on stage.
Hey guys, thanks.
And
Hey, what's going on? I want to thank you for doing these AMAs. I think they're awesome, and I think they're like really awesome for galvanizing the community here. And yeah, I just think Recur's doing an awesome job. And this is just kind of
thanks.
I guess, yeah, this is more of just a comment in regard to the drop mechanics. With Star Trek, I went to buy one Admiral pack, and I got like an error, and I waited and it didn't seem to go through, so I decided to try it again. And I don't know why I did this, but I went to get 2 packs, and then I got an error on that too, and I didn't know if anything went through. And then when it was all said and done, I had 3 Admiral packs for $750, and it was my fault for putting 2 in, but really I just wanted just one of those to go through. So I'm wondering if in the future there's a way to avoid that. And maybe we've already discussed ways to do that. It's not a big deal for me because I'm in this for the long haul. If it wasn't there, it would have been at Nickelodeon or something. But yeah, just curious.
Yeah, well, first I wanted to apologize for the experience you had there. I think we spoke just a moment ago about improving the drop mechanics, of these sales. The other element that we kind of build in mind is that so basically doing fiat to crypto like NFTs can be very challenging. There are a lot of lessons to be learned from the work we were doing, in the early days at Circle, where you're kind of dealing with reversible payment methods like credit card and debit card, and that's allowing you to buy an immutable object like a cryptocurrency or an NFT. And to make things short, the space in general is like rife with what we call chargeback risk, where you basically pull an NFT out of a system that you bought with a card, and then you call your bank and cancel the transaction, and the person that sold the NFT is sort of out of luck. And so from the very early days, we built Recur's payment processing with this in mind, taking into account the learnings that we've developed from doing this kind of thing in the past. And so we built out what we call a payment fraud or risk system that is very sophisticated, and it, can root out things like bots or users that appear to be fraudulent. But unfortunately, it also means that good users rarely but on occasion can be caught up in the system as well. And it sounds like potentially the system was blocking your payment. That could have been on the Recur side with our risk system, or it could have been the bank itself blocking. But we have a risk and compliance team here at Recur, and the systems are consistently improving. And unfortunately, it just sounds like you may have been caught up in that system this particular time. the benefits of the system. The more people that use it, the better decision making the models that we use for our risk system become. And those false positive rates that I was talking about, where we accidentally flag a good user, drop down.
Right.
Yeah, I appreciate the feedback, and yeah, I don't know if this exactly answered your question, but happy to provide any other info if.
No, that's fine. I wasn't sure if it was congestion on the server because so many people were trying to hit it at once. I didn't know if it was because it was the first come, first serve. I know a few other people in the community had said that had happened to them.
Yeah, we did. I mean, you think about it, like there's 1 second goes by and then it becomes available and everybody clicks the button all at once. And there's, all these connections that sort of start roughly around the same time. And it's a simple system. And over the course of the last, 3 brands that we've launched, we've seen pretty good throughput, and we've caught a few things along the way. Was this for NFTU or is this for Star Trek?
Star Trek.
Was it? Okay. So yeah, I think the Star Trek one, if I'm remembering correctly, we did notice. I mean, every time there's a new feature that goes out, we notice something new about the system, right? So something like Star Trek, I think it was the first. There's something special about it that there's some business rules that were special about it that cause the connection to just overload. And we've since put in mitigation plans for that. But I think as we start talking about other mechanics, and we've really made first in, first out pretty solid. Probably try it for, I don't know, the next couple of drops. But I would love to start introducing new mechanics. I think it's smart, and I think it's definitely is more in line with people's schedules, kind of given what was said earlier about somebody waking up or just having different time zone. So I really appreciate the conversation around this. It's definitely getting some wheels turning.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Like I said, I'm okay about it, but I thought it was a good idea to just talk about it.
And did you ever reach out to customer service? Like, did you get some help to look into the issue?
I did. They just said that they could. I don't remember exactly. Basically, they said they couldn't take the cases back and put like the NFTs back into the it. I'd have to look at it again, but they told me some reason that I honestly didn't completely understand why they couldn't, because I didn't open them and I was like, you could just take them back if you want. But they said that wouldn't work.
All right, let's talk when we can buy sealed packs on Star Trek. Maybe I'll take them off your hands.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
And if you'd like, just at me in general as well. We can open up a thread and I can look into that with you too. But thanks so much for coming up and chatting with us.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks. Look forward to more in the future.
They're coming. We're going to continue to do this. It looks like we're coming up close to time. I think we've got our last member that we're going to bring up, and he's been patiently waiting. Went ahead. There you go.
What's up?
What's up?
Is that a lazy lion you got there?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it is.
Epic. I'm a huge fan of the lazy lions.
So, yeah, I got a question. I was wondering why Hello Kitty wasn't our first drop. What didn't they like about what you guys were doing? And is that the reason why we don't know about the past rarities to the full power yet?
Let's see.
I can take a stab at that one. Different licensors, there's different degrees of complexity involved in, art approvals and site design and all these things that go into crafting a branded experience. So, things are proceeding really well with Sanrio on the Hello Kitty project, but different projects are moving at different speeds. But we'll have more to share about that one soon with the TM emoji.
The reason that you don't know the full strength of the past rarities and attributes yet is because you will never know, because we will keep adding to it. So, there is no full strength. It's infinite strength. So all that's to say, there's a lot of interesting things to come.
Yeah, I just thought it was because the Hello Kitty and it got delayed, and that's why we don't know too much about these passes yet. I'm just trying to figure that out. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it had something to do with the Hello Kitty delay. That's all. But yeah, that was my question. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. No, it's really important to us to get the Hello Kitty launch right, and I think one good thing that's come out of launching this a bit later is to Edix's point earlier, it's given us a large opportunity to continue to improve the systems and the gameplay mechanics and everything else that we're preparing for this one. So when it lands in your hands, it's gonna be awesome. Can't say more, but what I've seen so far is absolutely killer. You're gonna go wild for it.
I think that was a great question. And I don't, the one thing that the way the question was framed is, what didn't they like? And I think with Sanrio and some of our experiences, from what I've seen, it's less of, hey, what didn't they like? But once they start to see more and more of what our platform's capable of, what our team is capable of, as we start to continue to innovate, those questions of, what if we did this? What if we did that? Those start to pop up, and that takes time to develop some of the tech that we come up with, some of the changes that we may want, or deepening of experiences. So I don't think it's ever a, hey, what didn't they like? It's more of the, oh, I didn't know this was possible. Let's try to build this. And those things just add to the experiences and making sure that we're delivering the best possible product. Because I was, as everyone here knows, I was a fan way before I ever came to work at RECUR. Once I was in some of those rooms where these meetings were being had and seeing some of this development, my mind was absolutely blown. So I'm excited to see what comes. And I love JP's comment of, you'll never know the extent of pass holder utility because it'll never stop, because that is so true.
Yeah. Well, I think to add what you said, like, one of the reasons something gets pushed back is because we want to add more and more to it. And Hello Kitty is definitely the example of that one. So we'll see.
Absolutely. Well, guys, this has been incredible. I think the whole community has loved this. Any parting words or anything you want to leave us with?
No, keep the feedback coming. I mean, I read the suggestions channel every week, and Max, JP, the rest of the product team, we're eyeballs on all of the things that you guys are mentioning. So keep the feedback coming. I don't mind the fire hose. In fact, I sort of just love it, and it really helps us prioritize. So keep that coming, and really looking forward to the upcoming releases that we've got for you guys.
Yeah, I'm interested if you guys can post some drop mechanics that you love, that you have used other places. Let's talk about that. I want to know, what you guys love. I've done my research and I want to see, what else is out there. So please post that, and I promise I'll take a look.
And +1 to both of those, and I'll just say, as a product team, we're in the business of not just coming out with solutions out of the blue. We want to solve real, customer and community problems. I don't want to put all the burden on the community management team here to figure this out, but we'd really like to kick off more one-on-one user interviews and feedback sessions to ensure that everything that we're delivering this summer is in line with what you'd love to see from RECUR. So maybe we can take that as a follow-up coming out of this conversation. But yeah, it's been absolutely awesome to chat with all of you. Awesome questions, and I'll be sure to be a more active chatter in Discord moving forward. That's my pledge. But yeah, thanks for the opportunity.
Max, Edix, JP, incredible work. thank you so much for the whole community and everybody who jumped up on stage and asked questions. I think today has definitely opened a ton of eyes, and we've learned a lot. But it doesn't just end with this AMA. If there's things you want to know, ask them in general. If there's suggestions you have, we have that suggestion channel. A report goes out to all these gentlemen every single week with suggestions that you put in there and feedback from the community, and that informs what we build. So it really is us building together with you. So thank you to everybody. Guys, I appreciate it. And we'll go ahead and wrap up and see everybody in the community.
Awesome.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.